Our two spacewalkers are situated, Rubio will exit that portion of the airlock and rejoin Hoberg in the equipment lock section. They'll then close the hatch and begin depressurization of the crew lock area. Because the International Space Station is just that, international, the time zone GMT is used, so it's at 12:17 p.m. on the space station. These crew members are essentially in the middle of their day. Again, we're looking for about a 6.5-hour spacewalk. That spacewalk clock will begin when their suits are turned on to battery power. A smile from NASA astronaut Woody Hoberg, today's suit IV. He's been helping the astronauts get suited up, along with Frank Rubio, they're closest to the screen. They're both in the equipment portion of the Quest airlock. Now both crew members are in the crew lock portion, and the next steps will be to close the hatch between the two and prepare for depressurization. Both Rubio and Hoberg looking ready to go, as do the two astronauts in the crew lock portion of the Quest airlock.
Houston airlock on 1, complete through step 76.
Good morning, Woody, and we copy step 76. We will put step 78 and 79 in work from the ground.
Morning, Costa, sounds great.
The voices you hear right now, obviously Woody Hoberg using that tablet to step through the next steps ahead of today's spacewalk. He's speaking on the ground with Costa Mavridis, who is the Capcom. Once the astronauts switch their suits to battery power and get outside the hatch, they will hand over communications to NASA astronaut Anne McLean here in the room. She's known as the ground IV and will be relaying steps to the astronauts from here at Mission Control Houston. Mavridis will remain on console to work with the astronauts that are on board the station, but not outside on the spacewalk.
Okay, the hatch is closed. It's closed? Okay. Let me see how far back I can get. Okay, I see my safety tether pack. My wrist tether is connected to the gearing extender. It's locked, gets locked left and back. Okay. And I see the gearing extender on my right is also. Oh, I got it back. 2 hooks, they're all locked. And that's that. So make sure you have my ankle hook and it's locked.
And Steve and Sultan, good morning. Letting you know you are hot mic on Station 101.
Morning, Costa. Have your coffee.
Good morning, and Woody, back to you for step 81 and on.
Back, Costa. Thanks a lot. Yeah, so I've got my weird tether, stay close, fly a lot. See my big hook, stay close, fly a lot. Your green wheel, stay close, fly a lot. Green wheel is unlocked. The yellow hook is stay close, fly a lot.
We'll do the tether config in just a minute. I'm going to have Sultan check that the depress pump power is off, OFF.
Okay, depress pump is off.
And depress pump enable LED.
Enable LED is on.
Copy that.
And of course, you're hearing some new voices added to the mix now. That it is of Steve Bowen and Sultan Al Nayati preparing for depress.
And Costa, we're in step 84, awaiting your go.
And Woody, we are go for depress. You have to go in step 84.
Do that. All right, Sultan on the UIA. Switch depress pump power on ON.
Okay, depress pump is coming to on. Switch on.
Sultan, take the depress pump and ISO valves open. You guys can expect an alert tone.
Right, copy. Depress fan isolation valve open.
Okay, and as the crew lock depresses, you'll monitor your suit pressure gauge and make sure it remains less than 5.5.
All right, copy. Everyone go.
We are in a handover of the tracking data and relay satellite systems that we use to communicate with the International Space Station. Teams have given a go for depressurization of the crew lock portion of the Quest airlock, where our two spacewalkers, NASA's Steve Bowen and Sultan Al Nayati of the United Arab Emirates, are inside and preparing for their spacewalk. We started with pressure in the airlock at about 14.7 psi, or pounds per square inch. It continues to drop, now at about 11.6 pounds per square inch. Depressurization of the crew lock portion of the Quest airlock continues, now looking at about 9.6 pounds per square inch of pressure. They'll have a built-in hold shortly where they wait to check out and make sure that the readings are accurate coming from inside the Quest airlock and that temperature fluctuation isn't causing the pressure readings to change. Pressure in the crew lock continues to drop as planned, now at 8.25 pounds per square inch. Now under 6.5 pounds per square inch of pressure in the crew lock portion of the Quest airlock. That depressurization continuing to be monitored by NASA astronaut Woody Hoburg, the ground IV in the picture now, as well as team members here in Mission Control Houston.
Okay, Sultan, on my mark, you'll be taking the depress pump man ISO valve to closed.
Copy and ready.
Mark, depress pump man ISO valve closed. Expect an alert tone.
Man ISO valve closed.
Okay, next up, we are going to perform a leak check. You'll use your display switch to scroll until leak check question mark is displayed. Hold yes 2 seconds and follow displayed instructions.
Copy.
As expected, pressure inside the airlock now paused at 5 psi while the crew conducts leak checks. Depressurization will resume shortly once these leak checks are complete, ensuring everything looks good with the airlock.
EV2, leak check complete. E1 leak check complete, get into EVA. Get to EVA.
Okay, check O2 actuators, both EVA.
Not yet. Good look.
Confirmation coming from both astronauts that their suits have good leak
And
checks.
Sultan, I think you might have said it, but O2 actuator EVA.
That's affirmative. EVA on EV2. And EV1 is in EVA.
For that, Sultan, you'll take the depress pump man ISO valve to open.
Hold on. Okay, we're standing by. I'm still not quite in EVA. Hold on. Okay, O2 position EVA, EV1.
All right, thanks, Steve. Sultan, you can now take the depress pump man ISO valve to open, and you guys should expect an alert tone.
Copy. Valve open.
And Steve, you'll take the EV hatch MPEV to open.
EV hatch MTEV coming to open. Open.
Copy, open.
Depressurization of the crew lock portion of the Quest airlock has resumed. And we are handing over satellite communications with the International Space Station. We expect to regain that communications very shortly. Things continue to move smoothly this morning as we prepare for our astronauts to exit the hatch and conduct an approximately 6.5-hour spacewalk.
And Station Houston for Steve, we heard you working on the EV hatch MPEV. Can you let us know when it's complete?
It's complete.
Okay, copy that. And Woody, can you verify the EMER MPEV is also open?
Affirm Costa, the EMER MPEV is open. Step 9 complete.
Okay, we copy both. Thank you, guys.
Voice on the ground currently communicating with the astronauts is Costa Mavridis. They are in the center of your screen. Over to the bottom of the screen is, and his left is Scott Stover, today's flight director. The pressure in the crew lock portion of the Quest airlock is now under 3 psi. Meanwhile, the pressure inside the spacesuits is about 4.3 psi. And this view of Sandy Fletcher, today's lead spacewalk officer, working through the tasks and relaying them to teams on the ground. As depressurization continues in the crew lock, we are now under 2 psi. The International Space Station, flying 266 statute miles over the Indian Ocean, will be coming up over the south coast of Australia shortly.
Woody, I'm reading airlock pressure 1.1.
Okay, Sultan, copy that. We're just lagging a little behind on the PCS. I'll give you a go for step 10 in just a moment.
Let's copy, standing by.
Sultan, I'm guessing we're 30 seconds to a minute out from that action.
Copy.
Okay, Sultan, take the depress pump man ISO valve to closed.
Copy. ISO valve closed.
Copy that. Sultan, on the UAA, switch depress pump power off, OFF.
The press pump is off.
All right, and with that, you guys can report your initial tether config to Ann for egress.
Okay, we'll start with my left side. On my left side, I have my left waist tether to my MIDI workstation, then to the D-ring extender, gate close, slider locked. I have my tether pack, red hook, gate close, slider locked, and the red reel is unlocked. Yellow hook is gate close, slider locked. The green reel is to my MIDI workstation. On my right-hand side, I have my light waist tether, gate close, slider locked, to Sultan's blank hook. Like I see that, Steve, my anchor hook is connected to your waist tether, and anchor hook is get close locked, black on black. My green reel is unlocked, and the green hook from the green reel is connected to my red reel. That hook is get close locked, black on black. Red reel is unlocked, and from the red reel I have my my yellow hook is connected to the green reel, and it's get closed locked, black on black. And the red hook from the red reel is connected to my right gearing extender, and that hook is get closed locked, black on black. The same gearing extender on the right. I have my base tether, small hook is get closed locked, black on black. Large hook is connected to the internal gearing extender. It's gate closed locked, black on black. My left side I have a gearing extender, and I have my second waist tether, and small hook is gate closed locked, black on black. Large hook is connected to my main workstation.
And Stephen Sultan, that's a good load path, good config.
NASA astronaut Steve Bowen and UAE astronaut Sultan Al Nayati reporting their configuration of tethers, their mini workstation, and other equipment before they begin opening the hatch.
Okay, and Stephen Sultan, just a reminder, once the DPT gets near 0, you can expect an alert tone.
Okay, copy that. Alright, so try to see if we get my body down here a little bit further. Bring it to the handle at some point. Report and forward. Alright. Oh, sort of hung up on something.
Now less than 0.9 psi in the crew lock. Aside from the spacewalk preparations that we're watching right now on the International Space Station, Andrei Fedyaev and Dmitry Petelin, as well as Frank Rubio, are currently in the exercise portions of their day. Astronauts on the International Space Station need to exercise for about 2 hours a day to maintain muscle mass and proper bone health while in microgravity. That exercise will be limited and actually restricted while the Canadarm2 is in use today. Steve Bowen will be on the end of the Canadarm for part of the spacewalk. That'll be controlled by NASA's Frank Rubio, as well as monitored by Woody Hoberg, our ground IV, who's in the center of your screen and who worked this morning to suit up the 2 astronauts now in the crew lock portion of the airlock.
Station Houston, an update. We are at about 30 minutes of depress time. Looking at our predictions, we are expecting to need the entire 45 minutes before we take action. So you can expect another 15 minutes of depress before we take action.
81 copy. 82 copy.
Slightly Depressurization of the crew log continues, now 0.69 psi. Anticipating about 15 more minutes of this depressurization. It's a busy time aboard the International Space Station, as always these days. In addition to this spacewalk, there are 2 Roscosmos spacewalks coming up in May. We recently saw the departure of Northrop Grumman's 18th commercial resupply mission to the International Space Station on April 21st. And just before that, SpaceX's 27th commercial resupply mission departed on April 15th. We expect to see another SpaceX resupply mission, the 28th, this summer, which will bring up 2 new International Space Station rollout solar arrays. We refer to those as IROSAs. Part of today's tasks are preparing the space station for installation of those IROSAs on a future spacewalk. Depressurization continues in the crew lock, bringing the airlock itself down to a vacuum to match that of space. This is about a 45-minute process. We have about 10 minutes left. Now at about 0.5 psi in the crew lock. Again, this is down from 14.7 psi where we started today and what the rest of the space station is at, as well as what's very similar to what we experience here on Earth.
All right, Stephen Sultan, I'm showing crew lock pressure less than 26 millimeters. Steve, can you verify the EV hatch gauge shows less than 0.6?
The hatch gauge shows less than 0.6, looks like about 0.4.
All right, with that, Steve, you have a go to open and stow the EV hatch. And a reminder, once you get it off the seals, you'll want to get the hatch MPEV to closed.
All right, I am opening the hatch and I will get the MPEV to close. Work.
Good reports here in Mission Control Houston, as well as from the crew aboard the International Space Station. The hatch is now open and the crew lock itself is at a vacuum. Again, we will start our timer for today's spacewalk once the spacesuits themselves are on battery power.
And the hatch is open. The MPEV is closed. Is closed. Hatch is latched.
Okay, Steve, copy that. I can verify that the emergency MPEV is closed. Gentlemen, it's time for me to hand you over to Ann. It was a real honor suiting you up this morning. Sultan, you're making history today. Congratulations. We're so excited for you. Hope you both have a great EVA, and we'll see you in just a few hours.
Fantastic job, Woody. Thank you very, very much. Thanks for all the help, Woody. Thank you.
And now that Woody Hoberg's job as Suit IV is complete.
Sultan, Hetty here.
And I have you loud and clear. And I got you loud and clear.
Fantastic. So So with that, we can start our post-depress. On both DCMs, you're going to stagger your switch throws, and you can switch power to battery.
EV1, power going to battery. EV1. Okay, EV2 going to battery. I've got blank, no bite. Good startup.
And we copy.
EV2 the same.
Okay, we copy both power to bat, and you can switch your display to Pro to verify function display.
And EV1 display is functional. EV2, functional display.
Sultan, on the UIA, you can switch power, EV1 and 2 to off, OFF, and check that all 4 LEDs are off.
Right, copy and work. V1, power off, LEDs off. V2, power off, LEDs off.
Okay, copy. For both of you, you can now disconnect your SCU from your DCM, install the DCM cover, and stow your SCU in the pouch.
Rapid work, EV1, work.
In the center of your screen is NASA astronaut Anne McClain. She's going to be the primary communicator with the astronauts while they are on today's spacewalk.
Okay, cover in place, SCU is in the pouch. Then cover installed for the pouch.
Okay, we copy that you both have the DCM covers.
Pouch, right. Affirmative, and I'm just looking for the pouch. It's right here, I'm going to give it to you. Here it is. Well, let's make sure it's on the right side of there. So you see it, Sultan? Make sure it goes on the correct side of your... I got it, thanks, you're good. Okay, DCM. Correction. SCU is in the pouch now.
Copy, both SCUs are in the pouches. At this time, you can check that the depress pump man ISO valve is closed.
That's affirmative. Man ISO valve closed.
Copy, for both crew on your DCMs, you can take your temperature control valve to max hot.
Control valve coming to max hot, EV1. Control valve, max hot, EV1.
Copy?
EV2, max hot.
Copy. You may now both switch water to on, ON.
EV1, water's on. Water's on, EV1. EV2, water is on.
Copy both. Now on your DCMs, check blank bite off.
Blank bite off, EV1. EV2, blank bite off.
Copy. You can now set your temperature control valve as desired and let us know what that setting is. And just a reminder throughout the EVA today to please report your changes and try not to do any changes that are larger than 2.
EV1 copies and repositioning. Okay, EV2 TV setting is 5. EV1's initial setting is when I get there. KV1's initial setting is 4.
Okay, we copy 5 and 4. Thank you. Can you please report your suit P gauge?
EV1 4.3. And 4.3 for EV2.
Copy 4.3, and you can set your visors as required. We're about 5 minutes from a sunrise.
And I agree, it is dark outside. EV1 copies. And EV2 copies.
Okay, and with that, we can verify that your suit parameters look good. So that'll take us, and we'll take care of the last step on the post-repress. So with that, we'll step into the procedures. So when we're ready, Steve, you are go to open the thermal cover.
Opening the thermal cover.
And Steve, reminder to release the hook for the magnetic plate D-ring and attach the hook to the stowage tether point and cinch the strap until snug.
And that's in work.
As we get a live view from outside the Quest airlock, we have confirmation that the spacewalk itself began at 8:11 a.m. Central Time today as the astronauts turn their suits to battery power.
And making snug. All right, and that's complete. Thermal hatch is open.
Copy. You are now go to egress the airlock.
Keep on egress in the airlock. Copy.
And Sultan, as he egresses, your next step is going to be to transfer the crew lock bags out if you want to get eyes on crew lock bag on 2 or 3.
Copy. I was expecting the IDA bag. No, IDA is 3rd. All right, copy.
Yes, you can pass those bags in any order.
Okay. All right, copy. And by Sultan, I want to make sure I'm in good orientation here and get my...
And Steve, as you get set, please also turn on your HECA.
All right, let me get myself in a good config here. My waist tether.
First out of the hatch this morning is NASA astronaut Steve Bowen. He is EV1. You can differentiate between he and Sultan Al-Nayati by the red stripe that is on Bowen's spacesuit.
And HECA. And I got a good green light for HECA. Okay, Sultan, I'm ready for a bag. Okay, I'm sending bag number 3 first. Bag number 3.
And I know you're tracking, but crew lock bags 2 and 3 are going to be stowed on the airlock zenith of the starboard airlock toolbox on 556.
556. Copy.
The crew members start their day with Sultan Al-Nayati passing out some of the
Coming your way, Steve. That's it.
passing out some of the bags that will be used to Steve Bowen. He will then stow those on a handrail for use later.
Airlock that. Got it. It's coming back. Got it. Okay, here it comes. All right, put that up on the Z-ring extender. Thank you.
As you can see, the colors changing outside of the International Space Station. We will be entering an orbital sunrise, orbital daylight, very soon. The lights on the helmet camera of Steve Bowen down in the bottom left of your frame are currently on. The International Space Station sees 16 sunrises and sunsets a day, so these spacewalkers will work in alternating light and darkness throughout their time today.
All right, crew lock back 3, 556, on the ret. My ret.
And we copy Steve, crew lock bag 3 on 556. And Sultan, just a reminder, the large, small rets from these crew lock bags are going to get stowed on the airlock D-ring extender.
Yeah, copy, and the first bag, number 3, our ret is already on the D-ring extender.
Copy.
Okay, Sultan, I'm ready for bag number 2. Wait, ready. All right, I see bag number 2.
These bags that Alnayati is transferring to Bowen are stored on the same handrail. They'll be used later. They contain tools for different tasks.
Releasing the airlock. And I'm ready for it. Okay, here it comes. Thanks. Bag number 2, heading up. A small red is going to be ready.
And that crew lock bag also goes to 556. And that large, small ret Sultan also goes to airlock D-ring extender. And the next item to pass out will be the GoPro.
Beyond and have it. All right. Bag number 2 is attached to 556 with the integral tether. Bag 3 is on with the ret. Bag 2 is on with the integral tether.
Okay, we copy both crew locks on 556. Nicely done. And the next thing is to retrieve and install the GoPro.
Thanks. It's ready for your seat. Yep. All right, that is wrapped around the handle now. I gotta take that off first. GoPro is. All right. And I have that ready to my mini workstation. You can release the other end, Sultan. Okay, and work. You ready? All right. Then let the hook go. Thank you. Give me a minute to set that up.
Another short handover with the tracking data and relay satellite systems that help us communicate with the International Space Station. The crew members continue to prepare the crew lock bags that they will use later on in the spacewalk.
I've got the small hook on 550.
We copy small hook on 550. And Sultan, while you wait for him to come back to the IDA bag, we'd like you to check your safer handles and ensure that they are both full down.
Copy. Okay, I got the big hook on 546.
And Steve, was that 546?
546 on the lower. All right, I've got it facing the correct way. So head back to the airlock.
Okay, we copy.
Both handles down.
Okay, copy Sultan. And Steve, we'd like you to do the same thing with your safer handles and just give them a tap and make sure they're both full down.
All right, give me 1 second to stop.
And Sultan, the next bag will be the IDA bag, and this large small ret will also go to the airlock D-ring extender.
Yeah. All right, checking my papers. Right handle is down. Okay, left handle is down.
And we copy Steve, so you can get the IDA bag from Sultan and stow it on your BRT.
Okay. Okay, Sultan, pass it out this way. Almost there. A little bit further. Thank you.
I'll try to pass the handle.
I missed the handle. I got this.
All right.
So hold on.
NASA's Anne McClain, our ground IV today. She lived aboard the International Space Station during expeditions 58 and 59 and was a lead spacewalker on 2 spacewalks herself.
Yeah, hold on. I want to get it, make sure it's on there.
Take your time.
I'm trying to tuck the wire ties in. All right, that might be your key. Your key red is attached. Lock rat. Coming back to you. Ready?
Yep.
Oh, there it is. Okay, let me get this stuck down where I want it. Those wire ties don't do a thing where I want them to, but it's okay.
And Sultan, the next bag will be crew lock bag 1, and you can pass that out to Steve, or you can egress with it, your choice. Reminder to keep the large small ret on crew lock bag 1.
Right, copy that. I'm going to pass it to Steve and then use the hook when he has a ret on it.
Copy. And Steve, as you wait for that, can you check the strap on the thermal cover, the one that you cinched, and to make sure that there are 6 lines visible?
Hold on. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I see 6 lines visible.
Copy. Thanks for the check.
All right. So I'm unfamiliar. Zach is up, and I'm unfamiliar with what that shows exactly for right above eye. So give me an idea at some point. Appreciate that. If it's well above my head.
Copy. Will do.
Thank you. All right, Sultan, I'm ready for your bag.
On your way.
All right. Not quite. They wrap your bag. They release the lock rat. Hold on. Here it comes.
No, Steve, actually, this stays with the...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Here, bring it back
I'm
on.
going to pass it back.
Thank you. Actually, you can just hook it back up. I'll put it right here. Give a reminder.
No problem.
And you release your end now, and I'll hold on to it.
You have a red on it?
I got a hand on it, I got a red on it. So you release the brake hook, and then it'll be, I'll put it on.
All right, and work.
Yeah, good words on that large, small ret. And just another note on this bag, Sultan, if you're going to want to use your BRT during translation adaptation, then you can go ahead and temp stow crew lock bag 1 on that airlock handrail. If you're not going to use your BRT, then once you egress, we'll get it on your BRT.
I think that's on my BRT, do the adaptation with a waist tether, the handrail.
You can just hook it to the handrail right now. And then you can grab it on the way out.
You can do that, yeah.
Okay. All right, I have the crew lock bag by the big hook on the airlock handrail to release my ret. And I will clear the hatch for you.
Thank you, Steve. And I'm ready to egress.
Sultan, you are go to egress.
I'm going to get the view from my feet before.
The astronauts have been working through preparation of their tool bags, as well as ensuring their tethers are in the proper configuration. Now preparing for UAE astronaut Sultan Al Niyadi to egress the hatch.
Still coming out?
Yep.
Before that, actually, I need to reroute the SCUs coming in between my safety tether.
Okay. Take your time. Make sure it's right.
So, my safety tether out. Coming out.
And Sultan, once you get out and set, your next step is to receive crew lock bag 1 and stow it if you want to do that right now. Otherwise, you can leave it temp stowed for translation adaptation.
It's right here. I can go receive it.
At 30 minutes into today's spacewalk, UAE astronaut Sultan Al Nayati has egressed the hatch, the first ever spacewalk for an astronaut from the United Arab Emirates. Another good look at both of our spacewalkers here. On the right, you see NASA's Steve Bowen with red stripes around the legs of his spacesuit. That'll help you tell the difference from him and Sultan Al Nayati, who's on the left side in an unmarked suit.
Steve, while he is working crew lock bag 1, just want to let you know that we noticed that the wire tie caddy is not staying tucked to the IDA bag. Just wanted to put your awareness on it in case you want to tuck it in somewhere or add another ret.
Yeah, let me try to fix that again. I thought I had tucked it in, but I pulled it out. It's a better place to tuck it.
Okay, stow it back, stow it to my BRT.
Okay, copy, Sultan. You can now turn on your HECA.
That should be better.
See green LED HECA.
Okay, we copy your HECAs on. And just a quick note to congratulate the UAE for having their flag on an EMU outside the International Space Station for the first time. And gentlemen, you can get it set up for your buddy checks.
Thanks so much.
All right. Okay, so I see 2 green lights. I see 2 latches up. See 3 latches up, 1 is taped.
That's a BRT.
And I see your right space tether. And
Going to the unlock.
that one goes back to your left, the gate closed slider lock on the small hook. On your red hook, the gate closed slider lock, see the red reel, which is unlocked, and the yellow hook, which is locked, gate closed slider lock on the green reel, which is unlocked. To my right wave feather, which is gate closed slider locked on me. So I see us in a good config. And I see
Saber handles.
check your safer handles again. To your left safer handle down. To your right safer handle down.
I have it right.
Good
All right.
checks on Sultan.
Secures. See. It'll be HECA. WSE. On. B tabs up on BRT and mini workstation. Right safer handle is down. Your left safer handle is down as well.